Hello world, I'm Citizen. This is Bible Time Capsule, where we read the Bible from front to back on video for the first time ever. This is chapter 30, for it is May 30th, 2013. And let's begin then. Chapter 30, rivalry of Rachel and Leah. When Rachel saw that she was not bearing children to Jacob, she became jealous of her sister and said to Jacob, "Give me children or I shall die." Jacob became impatient with Rachel and answered her, "Can I take the place of God who has made you barren?" She replied, Here's my slave girl Bala. Go into her that she may bear on my knees, and I too may have children by her." She gave him Bala, her maid, in marriage, and Jacob had relations with her. Bala conceived and bore Jacob a son. Then Rachel said, "God has pronounced judgment in my favor, for he has heard my prayer and given me a son." Therefore she named him Dan, D-A-N. Bala, Rachel's maid, conceived again and bore a second son to Jacob. Then Rachel said, "I have used my clever device against my sister, and I have indeed prevailed." So she called him Naphtali, N-E-P-H-T-H-A-L-I. When Leah knew that she had ceased bearing, she gave Zilpah her maid to Jacob in marriage. Zilpah, Leah's maid, bore Jacob a son. Leah said, "What good fortune!" And she named him Gad, G-A-D. Leah's maid Zilpah bore Jacob another son, and Leah said, "What happiness! Women will call me happy." So she named him Aser, A-S-E-R. During the wheat harvest, Reuben went into the field, found some mandrakes, and brought them to his mother Leah. Rachel said to Leah, "Give me some of your son's mandrakes." She answered her, "Is it a trivial matter to have taken my husband? Will you also take my son's mandrakes?" Rachel said, "Very well. In exchange for your son mandrakes, Jacob shall lie with you tonight." As Jacob was returning from the field in the evening, Leah went to meet him and said, "You are to come to me, for I have bargained for you with my son's mandrakes." So he slept with her that night. God heard Leah's prayer, and she conceived and bore Jacob a fifth son. Then she said, "God has rewarded me because I gave my maid to my husband." She called him Issachar, I-S-S-A-C-H-A-R. Leah conceived again and bore a sixth son to Jacob. She said, "God has made me an excellent gift. Now my husband will honor me, for I have borne him a six sons." Therefore she named him Zabulon, Z-A-B-U-L-O-N. Afterwards she bore a daughter whom she named Dinah, D-I-N-A. But God remembered Rachel. He heard her prayer and made her fruitful. She conceived and bore a son, and she said, "God has taken away my reproach." She named him Joseph, saying, "May the Lord give me another son." Next section. Jacob outwits Laban. When Rachel had given birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, "Let me return to my own home and country. Give me my wives for whom I served you, and my children. Let me depart. You know well the service I have given you." Laban said to him, "If you please, I surmise that God has blessed me because of you. Name your wages and I will pay you." He answered, "But you know well how I have served you, how your how your stock fared under my care. Before I came to you, I had little indeed. No, scratch that. Before I came, you had little indeed, but now it has greatly increased. The Lord blessed you at my every step. And now, when shall I provide for my own household? But Jacob answered. He asked, what shall I give you? That's what Laban asked. What shall I give you? But Jacob answered, give me nothing at all. If you agree to this proposal, I shall again pasture and tend your flock. But today go through your entire flock and separate every speckled and spotted goat and all black lambs. Then every goat that is spotted or speckled and every black lamb shall be my wages. In the future, when the time comes, I will stand self-condemned before you in the matter of my wages. Every goat that is not speckled or spotted, and every lamb that is not black shall be considered stolen. Laban said, let it be as you say. That day Laban separated the striped and spotted he-goats, and all the speckled and spotted she-goats, every one with a white on it, and all the lambs that were black. And he gave them into the care of his sons. He put a distance of 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob, who had charge of the rest of Laban's flock. Jacob took green boughs of poplar, almond and plane, and by laying bare the white in the boughs, sound like a rap song, he peeled white stripes in them. All right, next section, last section of chapter 30. Joseph is born, Jacob leaves. Okay. Then he set the boughs he had peeled in front of the flock in the watering troughs where he came to be watered. And they made it when they came to be watered. Since they made it in front of the boughs, they brought forth young lambs that were striped, speckled, and spotted. Jacob set these lambs apart, and the young animals were all speckled or black in a white flock. Thus he formed droves of his own, which he did not join to Laban's flock. Whenever the hardier sheep were breeding, Jacob placed the boughs in the troughs in front of the sheep, so that they might mate in front of the boughs. But not so in the case of the weaker ones. The weaker ones fell to Laban, and the stronger ones to Jacob. Thus the man became exceedingly rich and had large flocks, male and female servants, camels, and asses. The end of chapter 30. Bible time capsule. I am Citizen. Be kind, love one another. Peace. I'm out.